this word altruistic, and in the Hindi Murli it is written as Niswarthi, which actually means selfless. And it is very interesting that yesterday somebody was asking me, what are selfless actions? So I was just telling him that when you are selfless, so it's not like when you're selfless, but when you're full, then you operate inside out, and that is selfless action. So you cannot engage in selfless action until and unless you are full inside. When you're full inside, you engage in action not because of what you want from that act, but because of who you are. And then, whatever return you get or don't get, or whatever are the obstacles on the path of whatever you're doing, they don't matter. Because when you're not full inside, then there is some limited desire that is motivating you. So when you're not full inside, then you're always doing something to get something. And it is so subtle that sometimes you may think that you don't want anything. But if you're not full, you definitely want something. And it could be, very subtle. Maybe, you're just enjoying the status you're working in. Yes, and you're getting that high from the status. And just from the fact that, everybody thinks that you are somebody great and important and knowledgeful, that could also be giving you a high. And if that doesn't, continue, and there is an obstacle in that, then also your motivation for action will be reduced. So selfless action is not something you do by understanding selfless action, but selfless action comes from a place of fullness. And until you're full, you can't be, you can't be selfless or blameless. Because you see, when selfishness and blame, they are two sides of the same coin. So if you want something and you don't get it, then you blame somebody or something for not getting it. Or if you are doing something and then you are not doing it continuously, because the thing that you want from it is not coming to you. And then when somebody asks you why are you not doing it, you will blame some condition, some health reason, something. This is why I'm not doing it. But the reason is not that. The reason is that you're not getting what you are seeking from that action. Yes, so it is, where there is selfishness, there is also blame. Because as soon as you don't get what you want from that action, then you will stop doing it. And you will blame somebody or something for not, for being the reason why you stop doing it. So Baba tells us that anybody who is content and You see, Baba has given us this law that santushta or contentment comes from sarva prapti swarup, which is fullness inside. And when you are content, you don't put a question mark to anything. So when you're content, you're happy in every situation, doing everything. And then you don't question anything, you don't stop by anything. There is nothing that can stop you or cause an obstacle. And you keep doing selflessly, and there is nothing to blame. But if there is no sarva prapti swarup, which means you're not full inside, you're not content, then you're doing everything to make you content, to make you happy. And that is where selfishness comes in. And then when there is selfishness, then anything, when you don't get what you're seeking, you will question it. And you will also blame somebody or something and stop doing what you were doing and say that this is the reason and that is the reason. But the reason is you're not getting what you intended to get from the action. Now you see that if we check in, it's very obvious that most of us are not sarva prapti swarup, or it would be said that all of us are in that state where we are not full, and there is no absolute contentment, right? But what we need to understand in this whole thing is that it is not important whether you are content or not. What's important is, do you understand that getting something from outside will not make you content? Yes, so even if you keep hankering after limited, desires and attainments, that will not ensure contentment. So I have to understand that spirituality makes you understand that you actually operate inside out, and it is not outside in. And whatever you get from outside is not going to fulfill you, because that's not the law. Whatever you get from Baba is going to fulfill you. And if I'm not content, then I must change this whole idea that working more, getting more, achieving more, having more results, having more attainments is going to fulfill me. And I have to go back to the basics, that santushta or contentment will come when I will do everything according to Baba's Srimad. And let me tell you one thing. In my personal, experience, I studied, got degrees, I did a job, it paid, but there was no contentment. But one simple act, when I started getting up at Amrit Vela and sitting in soul consciousness and remembering Baba, it started making me feel very full inside. So you see that it is not what you do outside that will make you feel contented. Following Baba's Srimad will make you feel contented. If you wake up at the same time every day, and the time that is prescribed by Baba, if you're waking up at Amrit Vela every day, if you're sitting in good remembrance of Baba, or even if the remembrance is not good, you're trying your best. You are doing your bit. Even if you don't feel that something is happening or you're feeling Baba's presence or anything, but if you are doing your best, you are sitting in soul consciousness, you are sitting in Baba's remembrance, you are making the effort, and not with ego, but with the conviction that this is what I'm meant to do at this hour. Yes, so if you're convinced that I'm a soul and I'm in Sangam Yog and I have to get up at Amrit Vela and remember Baba, what else do I do in this time? So if you have that conviction and you're sitting in Baba's remembrance, because that is the time to sit in Baba's remembrance. You're not sitting with any desire in your heart that I should feel like this and I should fly like an angel or this or that. But you're just sitting because that's Baba's time. That's the time of meeting your father. And when you're sitting in that state, you see, and you know that this time belongs to Baba and you are adhering to that law, then you will feel contented. If you're listening to the Murli that Baba is giving you with dedication and with your ears and heart open, then that will give you contentment. Baba's Murli will start speaking to you and giving you fullness and happiness. And if you're cooking food in Baba's remembrance and offering bhog and eating, that will give you contentment. And Baba says, when this kind of contentment you have, then in the external world, whatever you have to do, you understand that you don't have to do it because of what you get from it, but because that's what you're capable of doing. Yes, that's your capacity. You see, I'm a soul and my capacity is to be loveful, peaceful, joyful, powerful. So why shouldn't I be that? Why do I have to check whether this person deserves my love or not? I am loveful and that's a gift from God. So why shouldn't I be loveful all day? And this is selfless action. When you nurture yourself every day with Baba's gifts, and then you know that this is who I am. Or if you have a capacity, if you have the capacity to solve equations or be a scientist or be a teacher, then why not be that? So that's your visheshta, that's your speciality. You have virtues, you have powers, you have specialities, and these are gifts that Drama and Baba has given you. So you understand that this is what I have to do. And I remember that during COVID, when there was a lockdown, then at that time also, we woke up at the same time, meditated, and then we sat and read the Murli at the same time. It was immaterial whether somebody was coming to class or not coming to class. And the Seva on Zoom started much later. But in the center, we were reading the Murli at the same time with the same energy. Because this is what we do, this is who we are. And when you understand this thing that you do as you are, you don't do as you get. You do as you are. And when you understand and you reinforce who you are every day in Baba's company. So when you sit in Amrit Vela and you look at yourself as Baba's child and you reinforce who you originally are in the light of Baba's knowledge and powers and virtues, because you are made in God's image. And when you reinforce that within yourself in Amrit Vela, then all through the day you pay attention about who I am and what I need to do, or what is my dignity, to do in this situation. You don't see the situation or the behavior or the return that's coming. Or even, if your body is ill, still you are a soul and you are capable of being nice and polite and sweet. So why can't you do that? And why do you have to blame that, you see, I was in ill health, so I got irritated? So the body is ill. Why did you get irritated? Because you have to understand that when you're contented inside, you will always be happy. And then you will not stop because of anything, and you will not blame any situation or behavior for your not doing what you intend to do. So Baba says that this is it. And second thing is, happiness is the product of good karma. When you're content inside and you're doing what you're meant to do, you will always be happy. And nobody can take away your happiness. When you stop doing what you ought to do, then your happiness fades away. So this is something that you need to understand. And the sign of selfless action is it never stops. You will always keep doing what you are meant to do, what you're here to do, despite everything, despite the limitations of the body, despite obstacles outside, and that is altruistic action. And this is what Baba is telling us. And then today Baba is talking about being soul conscious and having spiritual love for everyone. Now the quality of the soul is knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, power. Right? So we know that the quality of the soul is peace. So whenever we sit in soul consciousness, we experience being peaceful. But the quality of the soul is also love. And what is love? You see, just like peace is a resonance, a vibration, love is also a resonance, a vibration that you emit to everyone and everything around you. If you, the soul, are peaceful, then you emit the vibrations of peace. If you, the soul, are loveful, that's your original quality, then you emit the vibrations of love to everyone and everything around you. First, love is my vibration. And how does the vibration of love feel? So you see, the vibration of love is a vibration of, complete non-judgment, complete acceptance of whoever is the way they are. So, that's the vibration of love. The first thing that comes across as the vibration of love is the vibration of complete acceptance of everyone and everything as they are. And have you ever been in an environment which is non-judgmental? So that environment is a very big asset, because in that environment, you see, every soul develops self-respect, because being accepted is a very big stepping stone to accepting yourself. And it is very interesting that acceptance is the first step to change. So if you keep resisting yourself, you can't even improve yourself. Yes? Let me just give you an example. Suppose I keep telling you all day that you're not right. Then what will you keep doing all day? You will keep saying, I'm right. Because you have to, combat whatever I'm telling you. And all your energy is spent in resistance. Right? So you see that even if you're actually not right, You will not be able to go there and see and check what's wrong with me, and you will not be able to improve yourself, because that whole process of self realization and change, you don't have the energy to go there. Your energy is consumed in just, defeating this vibration of you're wrong. But if you create an environment where everybody feels accepted and they don't receive this vibration of you're wrong, then they start thinking about themselves, about why am I feeling uncomfortable? It's not coming from outside. Then let me look inside and see what's troubling me and let me change it. And when anybody puts their direct energy in that direction, then they can improve themselves and change themselves. So in my opinion and experience, I have understood that when you point out what's wrong with somebody, they never learn that, because they also start pointing out what's wrong with you, or they keep pointing out what's right with them. But if you are okay with everything, then they become their problem, not yours. And when they become their problem, they start looking inside, and then they start checking themselves and changing themselves. And in that whole process, what's your contribution? You support them. You support them in that journey of self-realization and improvement. So, first thing about the energy of love is the energy of complete acceptance. And spiritual love is something that is the need of the hour. Yes, if we don't give spiritual love, then any change won't be possible. You see, Baba also, when he comes, first he gives us respect and acceptance. He doesn't tell us there is everything wrong with you and I have come to correct you. He reminds us of our qualities and our strengths and our goodness and our virtues, and he looks at us respectfully and with complete acceptance. He doesn't reject us, judge us, and that's how we change. That's how we start looking inside, because Baba is like a clean mirror, and when you are loveful, you are like a clean mirror, and you are not there's no dirt on you, there's no dirt of judgment on you. So then the other one is able to see their face in this mirror. So this is the first thing about love, the vibration of love. Then the second thing about vibration of love is the vibration of belonging. So you emit this vibration that, I'm your soul brother and I'm here. So there is this sense of belonging. You see, there is in this world, there is this growing sense that I'm alone and nobody belongs to me and I don't belong to anyone. And you see, when we are body conscious, there is this message continuously going from us that I'm different and you are different and you don't belong to me. And you see, I have seen that there are daughter-in-laws in families, and they live 20 years, 30 years in that family, and then they are made to feel that you don't belong here. This is not your home. And I have seen that, in an area, if you're living in a rented apartment, then all the people who have their own houses will make you feel that you live here but you're an outsider and you're not one of us. You don't belong here. So these are all the things that body consciousness makes you do. And Baba tells us that the feeling of love is the sense of belonging that everybody feels around you, that they are like you, they belong to your community, they are one of you. And this is something that you must extend to everybody. That it's just like, everybody when they come to Baba's home, they say, we felt we came to our home. And you're my sister and my brother, and this sense of belonging has to be there. So, and this is a very important thing, because you see, people when they feel lonely, it's a very uncomfortable feeling. So, spiritual love is when you extend this sense of belonging. Then spiritual love means you care. Yes, so you care. There is this genuine sense of care about the well-being of the other, and you can see what is their spiritual need, whether they need water, they need food. You can see that, and that's an aspect of care. You see whether somebody wants attention, somebody wants sweet words, somebody wants some appreciation, somebody wants some knowledge, somebody needs some peace. You care enough to see that, and that you can, and you see that, of course, you cannot fulfill everybody's heart. You can show them the path, that if you be a Raj Yogi, if you remember Baba, your heart will be full. You can show them that path. But giving just a glimpse of care, at least that 1 second, 1 minute that you spend giving that care, that is something that nourishes the soul. Of course, care doesn't mean that you take responsibility of somebody's life and fortune. That you can't do. But nourishing everybody with care, your attitude shouldn't be callous, that somebody shouldn't feel that they don't care whether we live or we die. So it should, you matter and you're worthy and we care. That kind of a vibration is a loveful vibration. And I will tell you one thing, see, so when you see somebody and you can see what they need, so maybe even a glass of water, you can detect that they are thirsty, or you can just offer them a seat to sit down. That's also a sign of care. But how do you see that? You need love to see that. And I remember, there was this one episode where in a place they had organized, a retreat. And in that retreat, many souls had registered and they had come to that place for the retreat. And it was a cold country. So in that cold country, there was heating system in that center. But suddenly there was a power cut. And then it went very cold. And then there was this one sister who boiled water and filled it in bags and just put it under the mattress of every, blankets of everyone who was visiting for the retreat. And she did it without any order. Nobody directed her to do it. But she just had this thought that, it would be very cold and everybody would need some warmth. Now you see, how much can a bottle of water warm it? But there was so much of blessings and nobody complained about the cold. And everybody talked about that bottle of water which they found under their blankets, because they felt that that was a sign of deep love. And you see, nobody can fulfill anybody's heart. Nobody can take responsibility of someone. But these small acts of care that we show, this also nourishes the soul a lot. And then the biggest form of care is to, tell them that you are God's child and Shiv Baba is here, and if you want, you can take everything from Shiv Baba in this Sangam Yoga. So that is care. So this care, this thing about care is a subject of love. And then there is detachment. Because in love, so you accept everyone, you extend this sense of belonging and care, but you do it because of who you are, not because of what you get. And when you know that I'm a loveful soul and that's why you do it, then there is no expectation from the other end. And love is always selfless. Love is always free from expectation, and it is a detached state where it doesn't matter whether the other one understood, appreciated, or didn't understand, didn't appreciate. So that's the quality of love. And Baba says that you have to first have love for Baba, because you can become loveful only when you are in company with the ocean of love. And that ocean of love, Baba makes you loveful. So the more you have love for Baba, the more you remember him as the ocean of love, the more you appreciate his love, the more you imbibe his love, and the more you take benefit of this act of love that he shows, which is giving you Shrimat, then you become loveful, and then everybody around you feels that energy of love from you. And you see, what is the opposite of the energy of love? So, radiating this vibration that, you are not good enough, I don't like you, and why are you here? This is my place, and you can't sit here, you don't belong here, or I don't care what happens to you, you live or you die. But do you understand? We are constantly emitting these vibrations. If we are not loveful consciously, then this is the vibration you are emitting. If you are sitting in a room and you're doing your work and somebody enters and they feel uncomfortable because you're radiating that vibration, this is my space and you can't enter. You dare not enter. So that's not the vibration somebody who is spiritually charged emits. So Baba says that this is the spiritual love that, and you see, spiritual love makes the environment very light. And when there is ego and there is lack of spiritual love, then it makes the environment very difficult. And I have seen, you see, where there is no spiritual love, then one person is even hesitant to speak to the other, because they feel that they cannot say something because it might be misinterpreted, or they might take it wrongly or something, and then they are so afraid to speak that they stop speaking altogether. So these are the things that happen in an environment where there is no love. And you see, as parents, I'll tell you one thing. There's this one girl and she is into a job now and she's grown up and everything. And she was once telling me that whenever she has some ideas in the office, or she wants to, you know, report something that is causing inconvenience to her, then she is unable to do it. So I said, why? So she said, because ever since I was a child, my mother always said, keep quiet, your father will get angry. Keep quiet, your father will get angry. So don't say this, your father will get angry. Don't say that, your father will get angry. So she said, I have stopped communicating. I don't know how to put my thoughts and feelings into words. And when I do that, I do it very badly, because that's how I always communicated with my father. So you see, this spiritual environment of love, when it is not created, then it can cause many scars on children, and on in generally anybody who is in that environment becomes very scarred. So it is very important to have this state of love, and it comes from a place of soul consciousness. When you understand that, and when you are in this feeling that this is a senior, this is a junior, and this is a parent, and this is a child, this spiritual love cannot grow. But if you know that I am a soul and everybody is a soul, and everybody is entitled to be themselves, and I am okay with it, I am in self respect, so I don't have to stop people from being themselves to protect my ego. So that's the thing, you see, and that environment is the call of time. It's very important at this time when people are suffering greatly, having great traumas because of this lack of love. Okay, Om Shanti.